So the mushroom industry generates about 0.3% of the total plastic waste in the entire world. And oyster mushrooms alone generate 40,000 tons of plastic waste per year. And we don't need plastic to actually grow these mushrooms, or any mushroom for that case. Because when you go out to the woods, you see these trees, you see mushrooms growing on logs out of the soil, mycorrhizally with trees. You don't see plastic. You don't actually need plastic to grow mushrooms. It's created this convenience where we have plastic agar plates and syringes and all these grow bags where you can mass produce mushrooms in a warehouse or in a grow tent or just in your basement. And basically, we've created an industry reliant on big oil. And we don't actually need plastic to grow mushrooms. You need plastic to grow mushrooms the way that most people are growing mushrooms. But if everyone's doing something, it doesn't mean it's right. It just means it's normal and it's the standard. But I'm here to say that that standard is wrong and we should transition to a plastic-free mycology and mushroom cultivation industry because you don't need plastic to grow them. For agar plates, most people are using these single-use plastic agar plates, and they all end up in a landfill. There's no way to really break them down or do anything with them, and we could just be using glass, reusable agar plates instead. And when you do no-pour agar with glass, it'll actually reduce your contamination because you're just sterilizing it in the jar, and you're only exposing it to air when you actually inoculate it. So there's less risk of contamination and there's no plastic. So that's just the first step. And then the next step is grain spawn. And most grain spawn is made in plastic bags, and those all end up in a landfill as well. And we don't need to do that. For grain spawn, we could also use glass jars. And it may take a little more time to make enough grain spawn to sustain your operation with glass, but all that glass will be reusable, so you'll be saving money in the long term. And then for sawdust spawn or whatever other spawn you use, again, most people are using plastic bags to sterilize and then grow the mushrooms in. And what we could do is also use glass to create this sawdust spawn and then use that sawdust spawn to inoculate logs, wood chips, and whatever other agricultural waste we could find to grow mushrooms on. We don't need to grow mushrooms in plastic bags. It just is very convenient. And that convenience has led to the issue of plastic waste and pollution, which is inconvenient. So if a convenience creates an inconvenience, don't those two cancel out? That's just my opinion. And for sawdust spawn or whatever the spawn you're going to use to inoculate logs or whatever way you're going to grow mushrooms, you can also make them in cardboard boxes or another sustainable material that's actually biodegradable and not full of chemicals like these plastic bags. So plastic can be replaced by glass and cardboard and just natural cultivation methods. We don't need plastic. We can get rid of it and we could grow mushrooms sustainably, and we could have a sustainable industry for future generations to grow mushrooms. That's just my opinion. I hope this was helpful. If you needed more help, just leave me a comment. Have a great day.